Look, I'm not with everyone here, but I will take a piece of him.
Vin Diesel just dropped a behind-the-scenes pic from Riddick 4 on Instagram, giving us a sneak peek at a Furyan desert scene. In this next chapter of the Chronicles of Riddick series, Diesel is back in action as Riddick, teaming up again with director David Twohy. After the mixed reviews of the 2013 movie, Riddick Furya will take the story back to Riddick's home planet, where he finds his fellow Furyans fighting for survival against a tough new enemy. Here, check out the post for a glimpse of what's in store. The image shows Vin Diesel suited up, driving a dune buggy with a camera rig inside, set against a Furyan desert backdrop that promises gritty action. Still, it raises the question, can Riddick 4 revive the franchise? The Chronicles of Riddick series has had its share of highs and lows. It kicked off with Pitch Black in 2000, which gained cult status, especially on home release. The 2004 sequel, The Chronicles of Riddick, came with a $110 million budget, but barely broke even, earning $115.9 million worldwide. 9 years later, Riddick returned with a leaner $38 million budget, becoming a modest hit with $98.3 million globally. Will this fourth installment bring the series back into the spotlight? Time will tell. With mixed reviews and lukewarm box office results in the past, it's no surprise that Riddick 4 has taken its time getting off the ground. This time, Riddick heads back to his home planet to face a new enemy, hinting at a fresh start for the franchise. If Riddick Furya keeps things accessible for newcomers, it might just pull in a broader audience and give the series a new lease on life. Outside of the Fast and Furious franchise, which is nearing its conclusion with Fast and Furious 11, Vin Diesel hasn't had much success leading other big series lately. Films like Bloodshot and The Last Witch Hunter failed to make a splash with critics or audiences, raising questions about whether Diesel can draw in viewers who aren't already Riddick fans. While it's unclear if Furya will turn things around, fans can at least count on plenty of intense desert action. Beside that desert image, we also got a new behind-the-scenes video from set. Vin Diesel labeled his post Furyan Friday, sharing a video of himself standing on the Volume, the virtual production tech made famous by The Mandalorian. A few hours later, he followed up with another video, revealing he was in Europe for a pre-production meeting for Riddick 4. In the clip, Diesel took a moment to thank fans for their ongoing support, showing his excitement for what's to come. This movie is being directed by David Twohy. While much of the sequel remains as mysterious as its titular anti-hero, the filmmaker has previously revealed that Riddick 4 will finally explore more of the character's past. Our Legion fans have demanded it for years, and now we're finally ready to honor their call to action with Riddick Furya. My collaboration with Vin and One Race has spanned 20 fruitful years, as together we've created 3 movies, 2 video games, an anime production, and motion comics for the internet. This new big screen event will see a return to Riddick's homeworld, where we finally get to explore Riddick's genesis. This is awesome news for the franchise. It'll bring something fresh, but still exactly what fans want. On top of that, the movie just received €2 million in production support from Germany's FFF Bayern Fund, which is the highest amount a single project can get. Most of the filming will be done at Penzing Studios in Bavaria, with some additional shoots in Spain and the UK. The film has already been pre-sold worldwide by Rocket Science, with deals in places like Leonine Studios in Germany and Metropolitan in France, and CAA Media Finance is handling the US sales. Riddick 4 Furya is being produced by Diesel's One Race Films and Thank You Studios, with local co-producers Supernix from Germany and Electric Shadow Company 28 Limited from the UK. FFF Bayern reports that German cinematographer Stefan Zupek, who worked on Supernix's Rumors and Guns Akimbo, will be joining the creative team. UK production designer Nigel Phelps, known for Batman, Pearl Harbor, and Transformers, will also be involved. This gives me a lot of hope for the 4th movie. Everything seems to be lining up perfectly, and I'm optimistic it'll turn out as great as Pitch Black, which, in my opinion, is still the best of the franchise, especially with that unforgettable ending. The ending of Pitch Black is packed with heart-racing tension, thanks not only to the deadly bioraptors, but also the shaky trust between survivors Riddick and Carolyn. There's even a theory that Riddick secretly stabs Carolyn just before she's taken by one of the creatures. Along with Jack and Imam, Riddick and Carolyn are the only ones left after a solar eclipse turns the planet into a hunting ground for light-sensitive predators. In the final moments, before Riddick boards the ship with the crucial power cells, the scene is chaotic, with rapid cuts, dim lighting, and near-total darkness. It leaves viewers questioning whether Riddick will reveal his selfish opportunism or show the hidden altruism seen in later films of the franchise. The ambiguity of the stabbing, aided by David Twohy's clever camera tricks, leaves the scene open to interpretation. Regardless, this moment shapes Riddick's character arc throughout the Chronicles of Riddick series. In Pitch Black, during the intense race to the ship, Carolyn and Riddick are attacked by a bioraptor. As Riddick fights it off with his knife, he's wounded, forcing Carolyn to step in. But as she tries to help, the creature sneaks behind her and impales her. Before she's pulled into the darkness, Riddick and Carolyn share a long, meaningful gaze that communicates both remorse and shock. Riddick then races to the ship to join Jack and Imam, killing several bioraptors along the way before they finally take off into space. Up until that point, Carolyn and Riddick had reached an uneasy truce. She believed in the good in people, while he saw the bad. Despite his help, she seemed to think he was capable of change. Their contrasting views created dramatic tension, but also reinforced the idea that life-or-death situations can reveal a different side of people. Despite his tough exterior, Riddick understands that, deep down, no one should sacrifice their life for him, as he wouldn't do the same. It would be a pointless sacrifice. After Carolyn is dragged into the darkness and likely consumed by the bioraptors, Riddick yells, "Not for me!" This ties back to an earlier moment when Carolyn vowed she would sacrifice her life for others. Riddick had warned her not to do that for him, and if he felt any guilt, stabbing her helped fulfill her oath while ensuring his own survival. It's also a way for Riddick to show Carolyn that in the end, she shouldn't blindly trust others, because people are often self-serving and he would always remain that way. Riddick has always been a lone wolf, avoiding any connections that could be used against him. His character doesn't show much growth in terms of redemption, but it's more realistic. By stabbing Carolyn, he stays true to his nature as a survivor and strategist, using the bioraptors as a distraction while he escapes, and proving to her that he wasn't someone who could be saved. I hope this is explored more in Riddick 4 Furya. Well, that's it for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this and other upcoming movies. We'll catch you next time.